All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? Back with my guy Gyiraszin in the saddle here to break down a whopping 12 games. And yeah, what do you know? We got Dodgers in Coors Field, implying almost an 8-run total against shitty German Marquez. But hey, DraftKings, kudos to you. Hats off to you. It's about time you figure it out. You price them up. You got to make decisions. There's some loaded pitching at the top end. There's some shit balls at the back end that people want to play to play those $7,000 hitters in Coors Field. We'll do our best to break it all down here. Gyiraszin, what's going on, brother? How are you? Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, hey, we made it through another week, Nades. We made it back. But, dude, it's been hot as hell. I know we were talking pre-show. Up here in the Midwest in Michigan, dude, it was like 95. It's humid as balls. But thank goodness we just had a storm roll through. It was a pretty good one, too, last about 15 minutes. But, man, now it's cooler again. So it's just been hot as can be. But, hey, it's been about as hot as we all been here at SHIPIT Nation across all the sports. Just absolutely kicking ass. I saw we almost had a 5th Millie Maker here last week. But, yeah, we've been kicking some ass, Nate's having some fun. Getting here in the hot part of the summer, which, the over-under's been rising up. But, looking at this slate here, I thought it was definitely interesting. As you mentioned, finally DK did something right and, priced it. We're going to have to make a decision. You want to play the Dodgers or you want to pay for pitching? And as I said, I think, from Freddie up, from 9,200 up, I think any of them pitchers have a chance to absolutely be the optimal pitcher here, on one of the two optimal pitchers. I think it's going to be tough to pay up for pitching on both sides. I think we're going to have to make some difficult decisions. You're going to have to figure out what you want to do. You want to stack the Dodgers with no Freddie, no Shohei? Is that what you want to do, or what are we going to do here, Nades? I think we got a good hour here. We can talk about it, get through it all. But 12 games. I don't think I seen any weather issues. Did I miss it or anything there? I didn't think I seen too much.
No, the only slight concern would be in Chicago, which is definitely a talking point with the D-backs in town and Reed Nelson, who people want to play there to afford those Dodgers. It's yellow. Outside of that, it's really not any weather concerns. It's hot and humid in majority of the places. Some places where there's wind blowing out overall, and then obviously Coors Field is definitely a talking point. Wind's kind of blowing in there in Coors Field, but and temperatures are 20 degrees cooler out there in Colorado than what they are in places like Cincinnati, places like Baltimore, Detroit aren't on the slate, but even like Kauffman Stadium, etc. So we'll do our best to break it all down. Gang Green's in here, Rodney's in here, Lyle, Woody for the win, Sean Sullivan, Michael Ortiz, Jake Swales in the chat, Brian, Cam the man. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to join the winners over here, no better time than now. MLB 75 does get you the first month with access to SaberSim, ability to build up to 500 teams in an optimizer, or 500 teams in the pool, 150 teams overall in your lineup set, which will cover all the MME builds out there, even the mini max contest for you for just $24, less than $1 a day, gets you access to the MLB content. I know it's kind of a lull time of the year, right? NBA playoffs just ended. Rest in peace, my guy Halliburton. Man, that was tough to see him there. He whooped up on our high school team all 4 years of his high school career there. Seeing him, Wisconsin boy, go down there. But that just wrapped up. NHL playoffs just wrapped up. It's pretty much MLB, PGA, and then MMA to cover you into NFL season. We got an incredible NFL team here. We're gearing up for that. I'm probably going to start discussing NFL product and what the team looks like coming up here in the next couple months or so. Get in now, join it, ride the wave in the MLB PGA streets, which have been incredible. And then obviously the MMA streets have been unbelievable as well with Title and Marley there. Shout out to the crew there. Tons of six-figure shippers throughout the course of the season so far. $24, no better rate than now in the industry here. Let me go ahead and pull up SaberSim, Gyiraszin, as we do each and every show to break down this absolutely loaded pitching slate here. I'm going to filter by salary. We're going to go 8K and above. I'm going to leave my guy down at the bottom at 8K. Chase Burns, I know you and I were talking a little bit about him. Top 25 prospect in baseball, the best prospect for the Reds, number 2 overall draft pick. Absolutely electric, has been taking the league by notice in the minors, kind of catapulted him to a starting role here tonight. Gets to face off against those Yankees at home in Great American Small Park. Temperatures are pretty hot there. Some slight wind blowing out, but this dude's electric. Take it all the way from him, all the way up to Crochet at the top. In terms of ownership, you're looking at Freddie Peralta is kind of the chalk of the slate at his price point at 9,200 at home. Healthy implied run total behind him with the Pirates in town, who Chad Patrick had no real issues yesterday of navigating through the lineup. Had made a couple bad pitches and gave up a couple home runs. Still managed to strike out 9 guys yesterday. Freddie, similar strikeout ability there. Hence the ownership there. And not only that, I mean, he's almost $2,000 cheaper than what Crochet and Rodon and that are up at the top. So hit on Freddie, hit on Crochet as kind of the 2 guys that are commanding the most amount of ownership up here. Then a little bit's going to get sprinkled to Bubic, Castillo, and Framber. Nobody's really going to play Rodon, Strider, Ranger Suarez. And no one's really going to play Jameson Taillon if you have any interest there. Same thing with Burns. Burns isn't really going to get played here tonight. So I think there's some interesting angles we can take up here in this loaded top here. What are you doing here?
Yeah, today we have a really interesting slate, as we were saying before we came on. I mean, you got the teeter-totter. You're going to have to pay for bats. You're going to have to look at I think the pitching is actually stronger than a team with a team total of 7 on a slate, Nades. I mean, there are some pretty heavy pitching plays up here today. I mean, just starting front with Burns. I mean, Chase Burns, as you mentioned, a highly touted prospect. I mean, this dude had 86 strikeouts in 66 and 89 strikeouts, 66 innings. I mean, he did it all through his college career. I mean, this guy is just a strikeout arm. So, I mean, here we get the Yankees. I mean, you look at some of these Yankees against right-handed pitching, Trent Grisham, 19.8, Judge, 26.6, Rice, 19, Bellinger, 17, Stanton, 35, Chisholm, 28, Volpe, 25, Wells, 25. So, I mean, he's got half the lineup that definitely strikeout ability here. It is very warm there in Cincinnati, but I think Chase Burns is a wild card here. I mean, this is a guy, Nades, I think in 3 or 4 more starts might be one of the chalkiest guys on the slate. I mean, they priced him at 8K for a reason. I mean, most guys coming in, they would have been 6,500, 7K. I mean,
I think this dude reminds me a lot of Miz, right? For the Brewers, came in, huge touted, right? All the fastball metrics, all of that. This dude doesn't quite throw as hard as Miz does for the Brewers, right? Who came in, I think his debut, he was 8,500. This kid's debut is 8K here. He throws close to 100 miles an hour, has a really nasty slider, really nasty off-speed stuff as well to complement it there. And it's a pretty similar spot weather-wise to exactly what last night was when I talked up Lodolo there. It's not any better hitting conditions today than it was yesterday there. So I think I'm in on Burns. It sounds like you're in on him too.
Yeah, I mean, we agree here. I mean, the upside's there, isn't it, Nate? I mean, that's what we want. We want some K upside.
He's got the highest strikeout upside on the slate in terms of pure metrics. I know it's minor leagues. I know that. But, I mean, all the way through college, too, this guy was there. He pitched at, Wake Forest for one of the years there. And I think, Tennessee the other year. I mean, this kid's electric. A 37% K rate. You don't see that too much. Doesn't walk dudes. I mean, all things kind of check out there. So I'm glad that we're kind of aligned there. But go ahead and break down the rest of the range here, too.
I mean, Castillo moving up. I mean, I can't play Castillo. He's probably one of the only guy who was pretty – I mean, I just glassed over him. I'm not interested in playing him against any of them lefties. Taillon, I mean, he just doesn't have the strikeout capability on a slate like today for me. Bubik's got a really tough matchup here against a really pesky Rays hot team, one of the hottest teams in baseball. On a different slate, Bubik would be, a guy we might look at. But I think with the guys ahead of him here, especially Freddie Peralta gets this terrible Pittsburgh team, bottom team of offensively in all of baseball. I think fastball Freddie has a pretty decent shot here of definitely getting a quality start, which obviously, I always mostly play on FanDuel. So always looking for that 6 inning mark. I think Framber Valdez is somebody too. I mean, we'll give him a pass for that last start against the A's out there in Sacramento. We'll give him a pass for that. But I mean, right before that, he was 32% K rate, just been really strong ground ball pitcher. Gets a matchup here against Philly, who does have, when we were talking in the past, a medium range left-handed pitcher, we don't mind against the Philly team who definitely has some guys that can hit some left-handed pitching, Schwarber, especially Castellanos. So, generally I wouldn't want to generally target, but I think Framber is a guy here that I'm going to put, as far as salary goes and probably what's going to be the ownership, I'd probably call him my SP2 behind who I think Crotchet should be the SP1. But, I got Framber right there. I got him in the mix, especially at 9,500. I think Ranger Suarez is really interesting, too. this guy, nobody's going to play Ranger Suarez. This guy's been quietly having himself a great season. His last 2 games, 32.2, 28.8. 8 Ks, 6 Ks. He's been at the 7-inning mark his last 3 starts. So we know we're going to get some innings out of him. So, I don't mind Ranger Suarez. That game total's got a game total of 7.5. So we could get locked into a pitcher's duel there. And I like both guys there in that game. Strider, he grades out pretty well as far as some of the optos go and, the projections and everything else. But I'm going right back to the way I felt last time Strider was up against the Mets. Maybe it didn't work out quite so well last time, but he's just not very good against the lefties. I get to see him again. I'm going to just leave Strider alone. I'm not a fan, but hey, if you like him, I'm not going to fault you there. He did have a decent outing last time, 27.9. He had 8 Ks, but I don't know, man. I just need to see a little more Spencer Strider before I give him the password he had starting out his year. I think Rodon's interesting too. Hot heat game there and in Cincinnati. But Crochet is pretty much, I think, my safest play up at the top. The Angels just absolutely stink. Crochet has just been just lights out, 20 plus every time. He's got 7 Ks, pretty much his last 7 out of 8 starts. It's what you want, right? He's worth the pay up for. So you're gonna have to make some decisions tonight. There's too many landmines up here at the top for some guy to nuke the slate. I think there's 5 or 6 guys that could absolutely put up a 30 burger here today on DK. So I'd be careful chincing out on pitching and diving down there to the cheap guys, because all you need is one of those cheap teams like the Cardinals or somebody like that to put up 7-8 runs, and you get a couple 30 burgers out of some pitching tonight. And somebody's going to have a lineup with one of these cheaper teams that are probably going to end up beating out the Dodgers or probably the Rockies or somebody else. So I think it's interesting. But for me, literally, Nades, if I was going to put 1 and 2, it'd be Crochet and Framber, and I'd be happy with that. And probably if I needed to go even third, I'd probably be looking at Ranger Suarez, because I think nobody's going to play Ranger. I got him and Freddie Peralta pretty much right at the same spot, but nobody's going to play Ranger over Freddie. So, to me, I think you got to pay up for some pitching today. I think the winner tomorrow will end up having pitching instead of Dodgers, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm with you here tonight. I agree with a lot of what you said there. We differ a little bit on some of the arms. I'll start with my favorite pitcher on the slate is Crochet all the way up at the top, because you can't play him in the Dodgers. Pretty much the most amount of Dodgers you can get is about 2 when you do play Crochet. I like that. I'm siding with pitching here tonight versus Coors Field and the Dodgers. I get the spot that they're in, but there's 12 games on the spot with other games that have hot, humid temperatures across the board, where it's kind of just a standard Coors Field game, right? It's not hot and humid. It's not crazy wind blowing out there in Colorado. Temperatures in the kind of the 70s. So it's just a standard Coors Field game. Obviously, it's the Dodgers, right? The Rockies. I think Crochet nukes the slate. I think he posts gotta have it score, right? And that's what I'm looking at. 11K is definitely affordable on a slate like this, where we do have value bats, value stacks that you can make work there. So I love Crochet at the top. I think Rodon is an interesting pivot there against the Reds. The ballpark is a concern there, but Rodon has a ton of upside there. not much interest in me for Spencer Strider. I get everything there. Schwellenbach navigated decently yesterday, just didn't pick up a ton of strikeouts. And obviously Strider has a better striking ability than what Schwellenbach does. But again, this Mets team just doesn't strike out a ton. We saw that with Schwelle yesterday. Schwelle, you're kind of just looking for long leash, right? Minimal earned runs and just get the outs and the points that add up for the innings pitched, etc. So for me, with Crochet so much higher ahead of those two guys, I would have rather find the $300 to get up to Crochet or the $1,000 to get up to Crochet. The other two guys would be pivots. Ranger Suarez, I don't really have much interest in Ranger Suarez. I get the reasoning that you mentioned, right? They don't strike out, or nobody's going to play him. But you look at the Houston lineup. I mean, they're going to throw all righties in this lineup against Ranger Suarez. Last 30 days, he does drop off to 22% strikeout rate against righties. If you look at this year and last year, he's sitting right around league average at 23%. You look at the Astros over the last 30 days, an 18% K rate against lefties. You look at the current season, it's still an 18% K rate. So I just don't think at 9,700 he has the strikeout upside with his splits to be there. I get the reasonings, right? Nobody's going to play him, but Framber's going to be lower owned than what Freddie is. I would much rather just play Framber over Ranger Suarez for $200 cheaper. Not going to take too many chances there. So Framber's my second favorite pitcher up here. I'm with you there. I love Framber. I love the spot he's in. Everything that I just checked out. I mean, Framber, ground ball guy, has strikeout ability, 9,500, good price. He's going to be lower owned than Freddie right there in that same range. Freddie is interesting to me, but at this kind of ownership with this loaded slate, I mean, Freddie right now is projected to come in 30-some percent. Optimizers want to give you him in the realm of 50 to 60%, which naturally is going to inflate ownership leading up to lock. Whenever Freddie's popular is when I don't like playing Freddie Peralta. I'm the Brewers guy, Brewers homer, etc. I like playing Freddie when he's 5% owned, right? Nobody's going to play him. Similar to what he was last time he was on a slate. Nobody clicked that name. I played him. Here, everybody seems to be clicking that name because it seems safe, right? It seems comfortable. 9,200, good price, implied run total, heavy favorites here at home against the Pirates. What can go wrong, right? So that's my concern there. I think Bubic is a way better play than Freddie, in my opinion. Pitch count's going to be very similar there, right there. It is good hitting environment there in Kauffman Stadium. But you look at the Rays over the last 30 days against left-handed pitching, they're bottom 10 in the league. They have roughly a 26% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. They're throwing guys that normally wouldn't crack this lineup in there to target left-handed pitching, guys like Curtis Mead, who's not an everyday player, to do the platoon advantage there. You look at Bubic this year and last year against righties, 28% K rate. At this ownership, nobody's clicking that name really. I mean, 12 to 15%. I like Framber and Bubic way more than I like Freddie. So that's the reason I'm under on Freddie, over on Valdez and Bubic there. And then I'm out on Castillo with you. My wild card up here is just like your wild card, Chase Burns. I love this dude. I'm a believer in his talent. The Yankees have not been the same Yankees last 30. Baseball is streaky. I get it. The ballpark, all that. It's the same reason I played Lodolo yesterday. Nobody clicked that name. He got into some long at-bats, right, where his pitch count kind of got away from him. He got pulled after 94 pitches there, had 16 DraftKings points. This dude has some of the most strikeout ability on the slate at AK. Nobody's clicking the name. I'll take my chances there. And the Yankees are probably the third highest owned stack on the slate behind Coors Field. So I think Burns is an elite play in tournaments at his ownership. I think he can rival some of these pitchers in strikeout ability alone on the slate for $3,000 cheaper than the top tier. So for me up here, it's Crochet, Valdez, Bubic, and Burns are my four favorites up here, with Peralta and probably Rodon kind of rounding out the field. But you really can't go wrong. Ideally, I would like to get two of these guys into my builds here and sacrifice the Coors Fields game in particular and make two of these guys work. When we drop below 8K, definitely some guys that people want to play down here. Throw out a couple names for you here. Gyiraszin, Justin Verlander making his return from the IL in that ballpark out there, which is great for pitching. We know that against the Marlins, who really don't have a lot of power. I mean, they play in a shitty ballpark. This is actually a ballpark downgrade from them, which is pretty crazy to say when you're playing in Miami. Now you go out to San Fran in that ballpark. He's coming back. Hasn't had the same upside that Justin Verlander of years past when he was many years younger. But again, pitch count should be anywhere right around 90-ish pitches. 7,500 against the Marlins seems like a pretty safe play to me. Ownership should be held somewhat in check there. And then Reed Nelson is the other guy I want to throw out. Reed Nelson and Tyler Anderson are the two guys down here at the bottom end that are getting slammed in optimizers to be able to fit the Colorado game, right? That Coors Field game. Everyone just saw what Eduardo Rodriguez, I mean, the dude was 35% owned yesterday, nuked the slates, had a ceiling game. It's just one of those things. Nelson is not the same. I mean, you look at Reed Nelson's home road splits, the dude has a 6 ERA on the road this season in 23 innings pitched. Just not the same. I get it. The White Sox are not a good team, etc. But definitely hit on Reed Nelson. What are you going to do with him? Because everybody who plays Coors Field is going to go and click that name, at least projections-wise.
I mean, Nelson just don't miss any bats. I don't even think he's topped out 90 pitches this whole year. 83, 79, 77, 62. I mean, I don't care at 6,500 or not. I mean, I'm going to have to get some mega points out of the Dodgers because that's the only reason you'd play them. They got to score. They got to score 2 touchdowns tonight. You know, if you start to do that and any of those top end pitchers go off, which I mean, I'm going to just expect that to happen. Basically, I mean, pretty much, I feel that is just going to be the case. So to me, I don't think I could go Nelson. I mean, Anderson too. I mean, he's tough too. I mean, the guy's just been pretty freaking lucky lately. I mean, I mean, that's just a tough call there too. I mean, it's some tough sailing down there. I mean, you mentioned Verlander. I mean, being an old ex-Tiger there, I mean, he did come out last time. He did have 83 pitches, which is interesting. He actually had 6 Ks, but I mean, he only went 4.2 innings, gave up 7 hits. I'm a little concerned with Verlander. I mean, if you're looking for a cheap dart, I mean, I'd much just rather play Chase Burns and just go for the strikeout upside there. I mean, literally, I'll find the $500 and get him. I just don't think I could do that. So for me, I mean, if you wanted to go Verlander, go anybody. I think Verlander would be my choice down here, Nades. If you want to look at some of these guys, I mean, you want Taj Bradley to be good, but I mean, he's just not what he used to be. When you see him down there. It seems kind of awkward for him to be down there. I mean, I can't play McGreevy against the Cubs. I'm not doing that. Quantrill, I can't do that either. You know, I mean, it's some slim pickings. I think pitching is so top heavy tonight that you best start. I mean, I think I'm going pitching side. So to me, I mean, I think Chase Burns, to me, Nades, could unlock some bats for me tonight. I think that's why I'm really gravitating toward that kid.
Yeah, I like Chase Burns a lot too. I'm with you. My favorite pitcher down here is Verlander. I'm off the Nelson train. I mean, this dude's got 12 walks in 23 innings pitched on the road this season, a 6 ERA, 4 home runs given up, and just 21 strikeouts. So not even 1 strikeout per innings pitched there. So I mean, I'm out on Nelson, especially at this ownership. I'll take my chances. I'll let the field chase. The other guy I will mention down here is Robleski. The reason being is the Rockies are going to get ownership, number one. This team has been bottom 5 in the league against any metric any handedness in the league, especially against righties. I get the weather, I get the field, everything, but I mean, it's not like it's 90 degrees in Coors Field. It's low 70s with wind that doesn't really matter. You know, this dude does have a leash. I mean, you look at his game log, 74 pitches, 66 pitches, 104, and he's 5,500. I mean, nobody's going to click that name when that's the pivot. So I would rather play him, who's got a similar pitch count to what Nelson does, at a fraction of the ownership. He's not going to start the game. He's going to come in long relief, but they've been showing to give this dude upwards of 100 pitches. He'll go 5 to 6 innings pitched, ideally. And if the Dodgers are winning, I mean, they're not going to burn bullpen arms. They'll let this dude throw 100 pitches, right, and take him to the 9th inning, take him to the 8th inning where they bring the closer in, etc. So that's the reason. Those are really the only 2 guys I have interest in down here is Verlander and Robleski, all the way at the bottom. I'm out on Nelson. I'm out on Anderson. I'm not playing any of these other donkeys down here. It's a spend-up pitcher slate for me. I want to start with pitching and then filter in the stacks and see what stacks work. Only the two cheap arms for me personally is how I'm approaching the slate. Any additional takes before we jump over, share the stone, and go game by game?
No, I think, like you said, high-end pitching tonight. It's definitely an interesting slate. We haven't seen one like this in a while, Nate. So, I mean, you got a team total of, you just look at the overall, you got a team total sitting there with the Dodgers sitting there at you set over almost 7.5, and then you got the Yankees like 2-point runs lower on a pitcher that I really like. I mean, you just kind of look at everything. It's just a interesting dynamics of the whole slate. So, kudos though to DraftKings for pricing it up the way they should have. But yeah, I mean, let's find some bats here. Let's talk about some games. Let's find some bats that we can match up with some pitching.
Yeah, bats are going to be few and far between for the most part, at least on some of the sides. There's definitely some plays you can pull. One of them being, I think, from this game, the Braves got the bats going a little bit last night against Blackburn. Now they get Montas coming back, who we don't really know what Montas is going to be with all the injuries he's got, making his first start here. The Braves implied for five runs here. The Mets bullpen is good, but I mean, I think they're pretty interesting plays, especially at the ownership. Nobody's really clicking these Braves names, and I know many people have sour taste in their mouth, right, for this Braves team all season. You look at the temperatures in Citi Field approaching 100 degrees, some wind kind of blowing in, but I mean, 100-degree weather, this is 30 degrees warmer than what Coors Field is. Nobody's clicking these names. I think the Braves are pretty interesting here. On the Mets side, don't really think you need to pick on Spencer Strider. I think there's much better arms to pick on this slate than a Strider, but you can always play Soto, Lindor, Nimmo, those guys, Pete Alonso against anyone. Not the slate that I'm really going to do it. What do you see here?
Yeah, I really like the Braves. I got him in my top 5 today. Frankie Montas coming back off an injury. I mean, he just hasn't looked good. I was looking up his minor league numbers, and he has got, or actually before he came back here, he got beat up a little. He had 6 starts. He only had 12% K rate. He was walking a bunch of guys. I think the Mets, they've had some injuries to their pitching staff. I think they're just kind of jamming Montas in to eat up some innings here. I mean, this guy is not very good. He gets smashed by lefties. I think Matt Olson is a really good play here today. I like all of that. Baldwin, Harris, anybody except Alex Verdugo is pretty much what I'd look at here. But yeah, I mean, I think the Braves are definitely interesting. I just don't think Montas is very good. I think they're just throwing him here to the Wolves to eat up some innings, but especially him coming back off an injury. So definitely interesting there. I think the Braves, for me, Nades, I'd have them probably around my top 5, just around 5, maybe 6.
I'm right there with you. You look at Montas, 19% K rate over his span of this year and last year against lefties. A 220 ISO allowed. Really no ground ball ability. Doesn't really allow a ton of fly balls, but sitting at a 38% ground ball rate. Braves are going to throw 5 lefties, one of them being Verdugo, which is a pace eater himself. Harris really hasn't been any good, but the dude really doesn't strike out. So I think the Harris wrap around to the top and go Acuna, Olsen, Baldwin, Albies, something like that, or go Baldwin, Albies, Harris, wrap it around to the top to Acuna, who's probably the hottest hitter in baseball since he's returned, and then Matt Olson. I like the wraparound, the 5-6, 8-1-2, something like that. I think is pretty interesting to play the Braves here. Looking at the Mets bullpen, pretty taxed as well. Obviously, they do have a good bullpen here, but again, they used 4 bullpen arms yesterday. Buttle through 14, Garrett through 18, Diaz, right, their closer through 24, Stanek through 28. So, I mean, they're pretty taxed overall coming off that game yesterday where they used a bunch of their arms. Next game on the slate is in Great American Small Park here. Chase Burns, the rookie debut phenom here, top 25 prospect in all of baseball, gets to face the Yankees, which most people would look at this, and at least the field is looking at this like, I'm just going to slam the Yankees in, right? Guy making his debut, really haven't dug deep into what this Burns character is. I mean, it could go south, but anytime you have a strikeout arm and you got your fastball that's touching 100 miles an hour with 2 good off-speed pitches, things can go south. The Yankees are bottom half of the league over the last 30 days as well. We saw what happened yesterday with this team. Everyone was kind of taking their pants off after Judge had that first inning home run. Yankees fizzles out quickly in a hurry after that. Couldn't really even get to the bullpen much. What are you doing here in this game? Yankees are, like I said, going to be the 3rd highest owned stack on the slate. on the red side of thing. Don't really think you want to stack up against Rodon. At least I don't. Maybe you can pull off a one-off against a lefty here, but what do you see here in Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'd much rather play the Reds against the righty, turning Ellie around. But as far as the Yankees go, I see, a lot of the Yankees getting some love. You look, and they're going to get some ownership. You mentioned that, Chase Burns. I'm going to give the kid some respect. I mean, I think if you're playing, maybe 5 teams even, and you want to throw Burns in one, maybe on a smaller team, I don't want to call it a hedge. Maybe you could play some Yankees against them just because of the heat, the hitting conditions. The matchup isn't great for this kid. But, hey, if you can't hit the dang ball, Nades, it doesn't matter, what the kind of hitting conditions are. This guy is just, absolutely throwing nukes. So, I mean, I think it's an interesting spot. I think I would just rather play Burns and go that side of it and go there. I mean, but you're sitting there looking at a game total. It's got a 9.5. It's the second highest total on the whole slate here, next to that Colorado game. And it's strictly because of the heat, the warm weather, and the hitting conditions there in Cincinnati, I think. So if them same 2 teams, Nades, were probably in Pittsburgh, I think it'd be probably an 8 total, wouldn't you think? I mean, especially with the 2 pitchers going today. So I'm going to just leave the Yankees alone, but I understand if you want to play them. I'm just going to give a little bit of respect to the kid.
Yeah, I'm not playing any Yankees here tonight. Could eat me, could bite me. I'm on the side of Burns. Maybe I'm too high on this kid. I'm a believer in him. I mean, his fastball 70 out of 70, his slider 60 out of 70, his curveball is 50 out of 55 in terms of metrics. His changeup's 40 out of 45. I mean, you have that good of metrics on your off speed, and then your fastball's maxed out. I mean, I'll take my chances at 8K with that kind of strikeout ability against a team who has been striking out a ton against right-handed pitching, especially on the road. I mean, you got heavy strikeout bats in there. Really, I mean, Bellinger and Goldie are your 2 non-strikeout bats in there for the most part. You get past them, I mean, even Judge, right? As good as Judge is, obviously, could he give up a home run or 2 to some of these guys? That's fine when you have that kind of strikeout ability. So I'm on Burns over the Yankees. I'm off the Reds bats as well, off the Yankees bats. It's Burns or pass for me realistically in Cincinnati, which seems crazy to think when temperatures are going to be in the 90s with some slight wind blowing out. But I'm a believer in him. Next game on the slate, we head to Chicago. I talked all about the Snakes yesterday. Snakes were my favorite stack of the day. It was hurtful when I clicked in Pavin Smith's name over Josh Naylor because I was worried about the damn pinch hit concern bullshit. And Naylor exits the game early. Pavin Smith hits 2 home runs. You really needed him. I nailed everybody else really in this stack here. Naylor is back in the lineup, so everything should be good. He's hitting cleanup here tonight. I like I'm right back on the Arizona stack at very similar ownership against the worst pitcher and a bad bullpen again. Really good hitting environment here in Chicago as well. They could see some rain throughout the game, but it was hot and humid here in Wisconsin. It's going to be hot and humid there in Chicago. Wind blowing out as well, right around 5 to 7 miles an hour. Temperatures, I guess, not as hot as I was thinking. Upper 70s, but still decent. Bad bullpen, bad starter. I'm in on the D-back side again. What are you doing here in this game?
Yeah, I like some D-backs. D-backs, 3rd hottest team in baseball the last couple of weeks. So definitely want to stay with them. I mean, White Sox going to pretty much have a bullpen game here. So, yeah, I like all the Arizona bats. Ketel Marte has been absolutely smashing the shit out of the baseball here lately. I think in OPS, he's 13th in OPS. Eugenio Suarez is 3rd. So, I mean, you're just looking at some of these 2 bats. I mean, a couple tournaments in the last few weeks, you had to have Eugenio and Ketel Marte on your team to get the job done. But definitely like some D-backs. I put them in my top 5 here today overall. But, yeah, for me, I think that White Sox bullpen stinks. Hitting conditions are decent. D-backs, one of the hottest teams in baseball. Line's all up for me. Don't need to overthink it.
Yeah, I actually have some interest, too, in these White Sox here. I was on them yesterday. I'm going to go right back to him. Nelson is reverse splitsy here, and you got some solid righties that are cheap that are nobody's really going to play them. people are going to go to the cheap bats that I talked about, like the Rockies, right, in Coors Field on the other side of that game. I mean, I'm in on Vargas again. I think he's fine. Quiro, Robert, these power righties. Michael Taylor hitting ninth. I mean, at 2,400, he's got good metrics. He's smashed righties on the season at home. You got Talkman, who hits for power against righties. You get some double leverage there. I'm not 5-stacking the White Sox, but again, talk about the D-backs bullpen as well. These are two of the worst bullpens in baseball over the course of the season, especially last 30 days. I think it's a different case, right? We saw the White Sox against lefty yesterday in Erod. I don't think Nelson's the same pitcher. I talked about his road splits, a 6 ERA on the road with 12 walks, 21 strikeouts, and 23 innings pitched. I mean, the dude is just not good, and people are just flocking to him to play Coors Field. I like the bats in this game. No pitching for me in this one. Prefer the D-back side for stacking. Mini stacks, though, on the White Sox are pretty interesting to me for sure. Next game of the slate, Pirates and the Brewers. You talk about a bad pitcher on the road. Andrew Heaney here. Heading into Milwaukee, Brewers are built to target righties more, but, man, you got Heaney here in Milwaukee. Brewers, pretty healthy implied run total. Pirates don't have a great bullpen behind him. Pirates got the job done yesterday against the Brew Crew here. What are you doing in terms of stacks on this one? I have some interest in these Brewers, especially at these prices, because you can 5-stack the Brewers and spend up at pitching, which you and I both want to do. That's why I have interest in the Brewers. I'm looking for teams where I can spend up for pitching and still get upside out of my hitters, and that's what Milwaukee displays here tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like Milwaukee, kind of a low-owned, cheaper team. Chiriot, Contreras, Hoskins, Collins. I like the top 5 part of that lineup against lefties. All grayed out pretty well. Chiriot got a 418 WOBA against lefties this year. Hoskins 348, Collins 338. So I think definitely can be had there. The Pirates bullpen is kind of like middle of the pack, middle of the road, nothing great. But yeah, for me, I think the Brewers are definitely interesting. As you mentioned, Heaney's road splits are pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, Brew Crew be somebody like the Cardinals for me, like a cheap kind of stack that you could jam in today to fill out your lineup, especially if you're going to go high-end pitching.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Our guy FK was talking about the Pirates yesterday. Pirates, I wouldn't say they got the job done. They definitely scored some runs. Patrick still struck out 9 of these dudes. Still had a decent score. Pirates really weren't on the winner too much. But, yeah, that was a good call. You did talk about the Pirates in the chat. So I will give you your flowers on that one there. I don't think it's the same case here tonight. I'm not playing any Pirates against Freddie. I will make the case it's very similar to what yesterday was. Patrick was the highest owned pitcher yesterday. Peralta is going to be the highest owned pitcher today. Very similar thing, very similar setup. It's not a spot where I'm going on a 12-game slate with 24 teams. Pirates are definitely on the bottom of that list. Brewers are definitely up there towards the top because, like I said, you can double spend at pitching. I like the top half a ton, but even guys like Frelick, Durbin have been hitting the baseball really well. Joey Ortiz is a cheap shortstop. He's been hitting pretty solid as well. So I like the entire lineup that the Brewers can roll out. Next game on the slate, Twins and the Mariners. Paddock on the hill. We know what Paddock can do. He has home run issues. He can give up a ton of fly balls, ton of home runs, and that's what the Seattle Mariners do. Cat Raleigh, this dude pencil him in, go bet it. This dude just hits a home run every single night. He's on the slate. You still got cheap guys around him. Polanco, Canzone, just murders righties. He's cheap again. I think he's got, 3 home runs or 4 home runs in the last 5, something like that. Raleigh hit a bomb yesterday. You got 2 cheap guys there. You got Polanco, who's cheap. You got Cat Raleigh, who's expensive. You got a cheap contact hitter at the top in J.P. Crawford. Twins bullpen is good, but, again, you can stack this team up right here. Seattle, huge park upgrade getting out of Seattle, going to any other ballpark pretty much in baseball. What are you doing here? Twins bullpen just got absolutely shellacked all weekend long by the Brewers. Mariners got the job done yesterday against Bailey Ober and crew. I think the Mariners are pretty sneaky here again tonight. And then on the Twins side, Castillo's terrible against lefties. Larnach, Brooks Lee, Matt Wallner, Cody Clemens would kind of be where I'd look, more mini stacks. And then again, Buxton, one of the hottest hitters in baseball here. Looking at the weather in Minnesota, pretty solid overall hitting conditions here. What are you doing in Minnesota here?
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with the Mariners. I mean, Kyle Raleigh is just on a world of his own. So you could always play him. I do like some of the Mariners here, not as much as I would have yesterday. But you mentioned the Twins bullpen's pretty decent. But I think like a mini stack of Seattle wouldn't be too bad if you can jam Raleigh in there. But even if you can't, I mean, even if you had Polanco, Raley, and Canzone, I don't think that wouldn't be too bad either as a small mini stack. As far as those Twins go, yeah, Castillo does struggle a little bit with the lefties, more ground ball or higher fly ball lean to lefties, not as many ground balls to the left side. K percentage drops down to 16.9 instead of 23%. As you mentioned, Buxton's been absolutely smashing. He's number 2 in all of baseball in OPS in the last 2 weeks at 1.421, which is video game type numbers. Only guy higher is Acuna. So, but yeah, I mean, Buxton's pretty hot. I think that, you got 2 of the hotter hitters in all of baseball in this game, and maybe you could jam a couple mini stacks around it, be a little cheaper. But other than that, I think there's better stacks as full stacks that go on. But there's definitely some pieces you can use in both sides of this game.
Yeah, I will say what's going for the Twins. Number one, I think people are going to play Castillo as well. And the Mariners bullpen sucks, number one. Number two, they're very taxed. I mean, the top end of their bullpen, 51 pitches, 47 pitches, 30 pitches in the last 3 days. 4 of their arms threw right around 20 pitches on Sunday. 2 of their arms threw 23 and 14 yesterday. One of those guys going back-to-back Saturday or Sunday and Monday. So he will not pitch today. That's a little added bonus for the Twins there. I prefer the Mariners side in terms of stacking, but I'm in on the bats on this game because, again, I want to spend up at pitching. Twins allow you to do that. Mariners allow you to do that when you're stacking. I'll take my chances there when I play 2 pitchers that I know can have a chance, realm of possibilities, right, to score 30-plus DraftKings points, which there's a lot of them here tonight, in my opinion. So I'm looking for some of these teams that have some upside here overall that you can afford to stack there. Next team on the slate, Kauffman Stadium. Bubic on the hill. Talked about the Rays against lefties over the last 30 days, current season, everything. No real Rays interest for me. Sure, if you want to play 2 of their better hitters against lefties in Yandy Diaz and Caminero, you can. Royals have a solid bullpen. Bubic is good. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. I'm off the Rays. On the Royals side, Royals are kind of intriguing. Taj Bradley, he's been up and down. He can definitely get hit around a little bit. What do you see here in Kansas City? Pretty good hitting conditions overall. One of the better environments on the slate. Temperatures in the upper 70s, 7 to 10 mile an hour winds kind of blowing out to left center field, which can definitely help.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is I look at the team name and it says Royals. So I automatically already got a negative thought going into whenever the Royals are. But Taj Bradley's not been good. He gave up 13 earned runs his last 3 starts and has not looked good at all. I mean, I think he's only gone 9 innings too and gave up 16 hits. I mean, the guy's just been getting pounded. But on a 12-game slate, I mean, you know what, Nades? I wouldn't fault you for wanting to play some cheap Royals. You want to go, we need some cheap bats tonight. Taj Bradley isn't very good. I mean, I don't have my Royals in any of the thoughts, but I mean, you can put them in the same bucket as, maybe not as high as like the Brew Crew, but I still think that they're in play. If you're MMEing, I think you should probably leave some Royal stacks in there. Taj Bradley just has not been very good. But, I mean, you take away this Coors Field game and maybe even just wipe out that Yankees game because we do like Chase Burns and we like Rodon. You take out those 2 games, the 2 highest over-unders, and now you got a bunch of games at 8.5. We got to find some offense in these teams, Nate. So, I don't really like the Royals. I don't love it, but I won't discount them. We'll say that.
I will say you want to start with the lefties against Bradley. Rave, Isbell are 2 free guys. They're not good hitters by any means, but they're 2,200, 2,600 when we got a loaded pitching slate up at the top here. Drew Waters, Caglione, Vinny P. You want to stack the back half of that lineup and just absolutely be free. You could play you could play two guys at the top tier that we talked about, guys like Crochet, Rodon, Valdez, Strider if you want, Bubic if you want, and then still afford some expensive Dodgers, I think. And that's kind of my interest there. I would definitely include guys like Miguel Garcia and Bobby Witt into stacks, just with their stolen base upside alone, two solid hitters in general. So I have some interest in the Royals. That's kind of why I had some interest in that Mariners and Twins game, because when you do throw the Colorado game out and you throw the Yankees out, which I'm not 5-stacking the Dodgers here tonight because I don't want to sacrifice pitching. I'm not playing the Yankee stack. I mean, now you have pretty much the slate as equivalents across the board in terms of run totals, in terms of over-unders. So you have to pull some spots out, and that's kind of where I see the Royals here. I see people talking about the Rays in the chat. It's just not for me. I mean, Bubic is not going to be chalky. The dude's going to come in around 10%, 15%, even on the high end. I mean, crazier thing could happen. Rays, again, talk about it, right? Hottest team in baseball over the last month in terms of average in general. A lot of that has to do with how good they are against right-handed pitching, though. Not the same against lefties here. So no Rays interest for me. I get the reasoning for it, but it's not like Bubic is going to be the highest owned pitcher on the slate. So you're not really getting any leverage for the most part off of those Rays.
Man, if you got any Royals love, I'll be aware of the Rays bullpen is very good.
Yeah, Rays bullpen is very good. One of the top 5 bullpens in baseball over the last month as well. So that does diminish the full stacking interest for the Royals for sure. Next game on the slate, Cubbies and the Cardinals. McGreevy on the hill, Jameson Taillon on the hill. Two guys that really don't have a ton of strikeout ability. Again, Cubs are expensive to stack up, at least the hitters you want to play, right? PCA, Kyle Tucker, Suzuki, they're all up there. Michael Busch is expensive. You do have some cheaper guys in here, right? Matt Shaw, Carson Kelly, Ian Happ, still got a favorable price point there. Heading out to St. Louis, which is more of a pitcher's ballpark in general. Have to assume it's pretty – let me just pull up the weather here. Busch Stadium, yeah, temperatures in the 90s. Wind's not really a factor too much here. Any interest in the Cubs or the Cardinals in this one? Nobody really seems to be playing either side of this game. Cardinals have been smashing the ball. These lefties are super cheap. I have some interest in the Seattle or the St. Louis side of this thing. Got to Ben Brown yesterday. I just saw Cubs option Ben Brown to AAA. I don't know if he had an injury or what the hell is going on there, or if he just lost his mind, but they just did send him down. Cardinals got the job done last night. Do they do it again here tonight against Jameson Taillon?
I mean, Taillon in the past has generally getting beat up by lefties. This year, he's a little bit better so far this year, but I mean, it kind of worries me. I mean, his WOBA giving up to righties is 346. His ground ball percentage is lower than it was last year. His fly ball percentage is about the same, but I mean, I do like some of the lefties here on St. Louis. They're pretty cheap. I think they're a cheap stack you can have here against this Cubs team, who, you know, I mean, could definitely, this game could turn into a softball game. I think. I mean, this one here has some potential where you could see some runs on both sides. I mean, you look too here at McGreevy. I mean, I think he's only had like 40 some innings so far in his career. But, I mean, he's been giving up quite a bit of power to the left side, 40% fly ball rate to the left side. I mean, Kyle Tucker, definitely like him. Happ at the top of that lineup. I mean, we always like some Michael Busch. So, you know, I mean, I think both these teams are interesting tonight. I think more so the Cardinals for their value that you can get, especially if you want to go some higher end pitching. The Cubbies are a little bit more expensive, obviously, but I don't think too many people are going to play the Cubs. So I think it's a pretty good pivot off of, you know, like a chalky Dodgers tonight or a Yankees or somebody like that. So, yeah, give me some Cubs today. I do like the Cardinals. I like both sides of this game. Matter of fact, Nades, I think while we're sitting here, I'm going to bet the over to this game because I think we're going to see some runs here.
Yeah, I like this game quite a bit. Cubs are going to be low owned. So are the Cardinals. I prefer the Cardinals side more. In this one, I think the 3-5-7 mini stack is really nice. I think full 5-man stack in this team too is good. Burleson, Nootbaar, and Gorman, smash righties. You look at Taillon, he's been a fly ball pitcher over the last 30 days with his ground ball rate 31%, a higher fly ball rate than his ground ball rate over the last month, which is definitely not good. Allows power to both sides of the plate here. Doesn't really strike anybody out. Hasn't pitched good against the Cardinals in his career either. Obviously in division rivals here. See each other a lot. Taillon's pitched against this Cardinals team a lot. Cardinals are hot right now. I'm on the wagon with the St. Louis side of this thing. And the Cubs side, I think, is your pivot off of the Yankees. I would much rather play the Cubs than the Yankees here tonight, personally, myself. They're more affordable to stack up as well than the Dodgers because you do have sub 4K bats in there. Even Ian Happ batting leadoff, right? Switch hitter, 4,100 is a fair price point. I like both sides of this game. One of the better totals on the slate as well. Ownership is not going to either side of the game, which I definitely like. Two of the pitchers, two of our worst ranked starting pitchers on the slate, Taillon 15, McGreevy 11. Yeah, I'm in on this game as well. I like it with you. Prefer the Cardinals side a little bit more than the Cubs, just due to the salaries to stack up there. Next game on the slate, Ranger Suarez, Framber Valdez. Probably one you're not going to have much interest in. I didn't really like Ranger at all, but I get the reasoning for it. The Astros are just going to load this with 9 righties to target Ranger Suarez here. He struggles with righties in general. I just don't think he has the strikeout ability with these other guys in the 9K range is kind of more of the reason. Don't really want to pick on him with these Astros bats. I will say Cam Smith, my guy, murders left-handed pitching. Anytime he's in the lineup at 3,400, play him. He's a good play. Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz. Yainer Diaz at 3,600, good catcher, one-off there. Think some one-offs or two-man stacks on the Astros side. I'm not 5-stacking either side of this game. What are you doing here in Houston?
Yeah, I like both pitchers too much to even think about bats. I mean, I don't even think – I mean, if you wanted to play some Philly bats, I think you get more leverage on Framber. But, I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, you could look at Castellanos or maybe Trey Turner if you wanted to do that. But I just think there's other spots here. I mean, this has got a 7.5 game total. We like both pitchers. Well, you don't like Suarez as much as I do. But, yeah, I think there's just better spots. I mean, the next game we have has got all the fireworks.
All right, well, let's jump to it. Dodgers, almost an 8 implied run total. I think that might be the highest of the year. Padres could have rivaled them a little bit when Padres were in town. We saw what happened when San Diego earlier this year came to town. German Marquez, we know what I mean, this dude should just hang it up. He should no longer be pitching in the major leagues. But again, you got a bunch of jabronis out there in Colorado just collecting a paycheck and trying to win their 20th game before the end of the year. It goes there. Rockies going to get played, though, for sure. Optimizers, at least. Dodgers, you have to make a decision. DraftKings finally priced him up. The cheapest bat in this lineup is going to be Conforto at 3,800. Outside of that, I mean, they're all pushing 5K or above. How are you going to approach this game in terms of stacks, in terms of mini stacks, etc.? I think it's going to be a very, very popular roster construction build to have 2 or 3 Dodgers on your team versus the 5-man, because that still allows you and opens you up to double spend at pitcher, which most people want, or go like a 11K and then like a Verlander at 7,500, etc., where you don't really have to get down to that low 6K range or 5K range like I talked about with Robleski here. What's your take in Coors Field?
I mean, why would anybody want to play Dodgers? They're, in Coors Field against a pitcher who don't really strike anybody out, who's, just not very good. I mean, damn. But, I mean, they did price up Shohei, Freddie. You're going to have to make some decisions on them. I think those guys will actually be lower owned than probably should be just because of their price. I think some of these cheaper Dodgers, the Pajes, the Muncys, the Will Smiths of the world, I think those are the guys that are going to be pretty popular. I was running a lot of, doing some FanDuel, running some, a lot of them were coming up. Mookie, Muncy, and Pajes. I mean, in a 3-man stack. So it was leaving off Freddie, leaving off Shohei. So I think that's going to be a fairly popular. But on the other side, Nades, my gut is telling me that the Rockies here are going to this game could turn into a softball game easily. I mean, we got a game total of 12. I just think the Rockies here are in a pretty good spot. Robleski, I mean, he's just an average pitcher. I think here coming into this game, Colorado, I mean, Goodman's been hitting the ball pretty good. Beck has been hitting it pretty good. I mean, I think that you could see Colorado's going to go under-owned in a game of 12. I do like some Colorado bats. I just think I got them ranked higher just because I don't think as many people are playing them as you should. So to me, I think, kind of looking at it, I think I'd rather play some Rockies, go Rockies side of this game, skip out maybe 1 or 2 man the Dodgers. But I mean, if the Dodgers go off, you're going to need more than 2 of them anyway. So it's almost like, why even short yourself and mini stack the Dodgers? I think I wouldn't mind 5 man and some Rockies. And then, looking at some higher end in some pitching with maybe some Chase Burns and maybe some Crochet, and then look at some Rockies. But I think I got the Rockies a little higher than most, just because I don't think too many people are going to play them. They're going to go under-owned. And I don't mind it. I mean, it is going to be a bullpen game for the Dodgers. The Dodgers bullpen isn't all that bad. It isn't the greatest. It isn't as good as it used to be. I mean, they're kind of maybe a little bit below average, but I mean, I think the Rockies could have a pretty good game here. I'm looking at some Rockies love for myself here. I mean, the Rockies are, in the last 2 weeks, they're 8th in OPS in all of baseball. So it's not like, they haven't been hitting the ball. I mean, every damn week, same 3 teams are at the bottom: White Sox, Pirates, Royals. So, I mean, hey, the Rockies are up there last 2 weeks, 8th. I think I'm going to play a hot Rockies team here and see what goes on here tonight. But give me some Rockies.
Yeah, I think the Rockies are going to come in much higher owned than what we have them projected at. At least that's what the dry run in SaberSim projections wise tells me, because at these salaries, it allows you, I mean, they have a run total over 5, right around 5 or higher. SaberSim has them at 5.4. It's the highest total of the game. Everybody wants to play. They allow you to double spend at pitching. It's just, we're light on these ownerships. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, I wouldn't be so surprised to see the Rockies come in as the second most popular team on the slate behind the Dodgers. That gives me some concerns. I will say, my favorite bats from the Rocky side would be Beck, Goodman, Toglia, those 3, and then Kyle Farmer. So in 8-2-3-4, add in whoever else you want to, if you want to 5-stack them. Naturally, you'll get a little bit different there, including a Kyle Farmer in the back half of that lineup, but Brenton Doyle, who smashes left-handed pitching, because it's going to be a lefty opener, and then Robleski is going to be in there for long relief. I expect him to go 5 or 6 innings in long relief, and if they're winning this game, they're going to probably lean on him a little bit more. So those are the guys that I would focus on. In general, I'm under on this game. I would say it's the best game environment, so to speak, on the slate. Highest total, everything. I mean, Dodgers bullpen's good. Rockies bullpen sucks. Marquez sucks. Dodgers are good offense. Everything shakes up to just for the Dodgers to nuke. But if any of those pitchers in the top tier, like we talked about, I mean, you could easily place every arm over 9K in the slate and be happy with it. And they could all have ceiling games. I mean, they're all good pitchers. If any of those guys post a 30-plus point game, or even a 25 to 30 point game, it's going to be hard for a 5-stack Dodgers team, unless just the sheer nut run out of a Reed Nelson punt play pays off, is kind of how I'm approaching it there. So my same take, I say all that to say, I'm preferring spending up at pitching over stacking the Dodgers here tonight. And then the Rockies, I just have some slight concerns that more people are going to play them to be able to play both sides of this game and just stack it up. And then spend up at pitching is kind of how I'm approaching it there. But for sure, a good game. I'm going to be under on it overall in general. Yeah, I mean, that's
I mean, on DraftKings and FanDuel, between the two, I think there's 2 pitchers that could obviously have really good games. So, if 2 pitchers put up 30, you're going to be even further behind with that Dodgers stack, but not so much on FanDuel with only 1. So I think you can take a little bit more of a chance.
It's easier to afford on FanDuel too. I mean, you look at the price points on FanDuel. I mean, they're all 3K. FanDuel, you can pretty much build an all-star team anytime you go and play over there. Whereas DraftKings, it's not the same, right? Freddie's 6,200, Ohtani's 7,200, Mookie's 5,700. Will Smith is approaching 6K at a catcher position. Teo Hernandez approaching 6K. I mean, the guys that are going to be the most expensive or the most popular are Tommy Edman and Max Muncy, just because they're 2 of the cheaper bats. Conforto sucks, but he's 3,800. People are just going to click that just due to the sake of the salary with this implied run total there. and this dude has just pounded the ball into the ground all season long. So
don't we always talk about that first game at Coors too? Nade's usually a pooper.
Yeah. First game at Coors.
That's a little thing we always kind of joke about.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to it. I don't really believe in it.
Yeah, there's nothing to it, but we always laugh the first game there in Coors. You know what it is? They all go to that dispensary and start getting them mushrooms and shit. And they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, I guess so. But hey, that takes us to the night games. There is a 3-game night slate. Like I said, I will have content again in the Discord, at least a core for the people. Gave it a run again last night in that night slate. We got a couple of decent games here. Next game, Red Sox and the Angels. Tyler Anderson, who's going to command a decent amount of ownership. Not going to quite be as popular as a guy like Reed Nelson at 6,500, but when they're not playing Nelson, they're going to click Tyler Anderson. This dude, all the underlying metrics say he's due for mega regression here. Red Sox, I mean, they have some guys that you want to target against left-handed pitching. Rob Refsnyder, probably only going to see 2 at-bats, but the dude mashes lefties. Romy Gonzalez, good lefty hitter. I mean, what are you doing here with the Red Sox? Pretty good implied run total. Overall, a solid park for home runs is Anaheim. Any interest in this game, either side?
Is Anthony in the 2-hole? Let me see here.
He's projected there. I don't think he's going to be.
Yeah, I saw him projected there. I didn't. Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. Yeah, I mean, I like Roman Anthony across the board. I don't care if he's in the 2 spot or not. But you're right about Refsnyder and Romy Gonzalez. Both those guys got some pinch hit risk. But, I mean, that bullpen's terrible for the Angels. It's just, like I said, there's a little bit of pinch hit risk there. But I don't mind some of these. I don't mind the Red Sox. I think Anthony wouldn't be a bad one-off, too.
Yeah, Anthony lefty. I mean, he's fine, but 3,900. Yeah, I mean, the Red Sox side for stacks, I think, is interesting overall at these salaries, just because, again, I'm prioritizing pitching. Red Sox, you can 5-stack here against the bad bullpen in a above average ballpark for hitting. One of the better ballparks for home runs as well on the season. Slight downgrade due to the pinch hit concerns, though. I mean, Gonzalez, Refsnyder, huge pinch hit concerns. Guys at the back half, guys like Rafaela probably is a pinch hit concern as well, for sure. On the Angels side, no Angels interest at all from me against Garrett Crochet, my favorite pitcher on the slate. Next game, Nats and the Padres. Talk about a bad bullpen or a bad ballpark here. A good bullpen in the Padres, bad bullpen in the Nats. Trevor Williams on the hill. Padres are the ballpark sucks, but the Padres are pretty interesting. I mean, we know what Trevor Williams is. He's not very good. The Nats bullpen is trash behind him, and the salaries on the Padres, man. Tatis hit a bomb last night. Machado hit a bomb last night. Jake Cronenworth hit a bomb last night. Padres are hitting the ball right now. They're going to get a little bit of ownership, but realistically, it's Merrill, Machado, and Tatis who get ownership anytime they're on the slate. Really, nobody's playing the rest of this lineup. I think the Padres are pretty interesting here late night. What are you doing in this one, San Diego?
Yeah, I mean, Williams gets beat up a little bit more by the left side, lower K percentage of the left side. But, I mean, Merrill's finally, I mean, he hasn't been doing all that well. He's been doing decent. Gavin Sheets, I don't mind. Cronenworth, as you mentioned. I mean, San Diego does grade out. They got a pretty high team total. But I don't mind, as you mentioned. I mean, this Washington bullpen's full of righties, too. So there'll be I'm not really worried about any left, but I definitely like some Jackson Merrill is kind of interesting. He's got to come out of that slump.
Yeah, I mean, you look at last 30 days for Trevor Williams, fly ball rate of almost 40% against righties. Strikeout ability really non-existent. Allows more power to lefties. You bring that to this year and last year. Fly ball pitcher in general. Doesn't really allow a ton of power, but again, I mean, it's just the nature of the slate. We got to find some offense somewhere if I'm under on that Coors Field game and the Yankees, like I talked about. Padres kind of fit that script there. I think Padres are pretty interesting. And, hey, don't sleep on these Nats, man. The lefties against any right-handed pitcher on the slates. Padres do have a good bullpen, but, I mean, Josh Bell hit a bomb last night. James Wood hit another bomb. I mean, this dude leads all of majors in no-doubter home runs. I think he's got 12 straight no-doubters metrics-wise, which leads all of baseball. Abrams, Garcia. I think the lefties are pretty interesting anytime they face a righty there. The slight downgrade would be, number one, the ballpark, number two, the bullpen behind Bergert here, who's not going to go very long in general. So it's going to be more of a bullpen game I do think pretty interesting, though, especially on like that night slate where there's only 3 games that you can pick from.
Yeah, if he was in a better city, they'd be touting him as one of the best young players in all of baseball.
James Wood is a freak. CJ Abrams is a freak. I mean, they have anytime the Nats face a right-handed pitcher, they're going to be in play because they have a ton of power against any righty. They suck versus lefties because your entire lineup is pretty much left-handed. That's going to happen, but majority of the league pitches right-handed, so it's a boom or bust strategy there. Last game, heading out to San Fran, Verlander on the hill, Cal Quantrill on the hill. I mean, Quantrill, one of the worst pitchers in baseball. I mean, German Marquez might rival him just because he's pitching against the Dodgers in Coors Field here. Ballpark sucks, but so does Quantrill, so does the Miami bullpen. I mean, nobody's really going to click these Giants names. I think the Giants are pretty interesting as fillers, mini stacks as well, especially at these salaries. Gets a little bit more intriguing to stack up a team when they have Rafael Devers hitting in the top 3 of that lineup. What are you doing with this game? Again, bad bullpen or bad ballpark out west there, but again, it's slate dependent. We're kind of starved for some of these offensive spots overall.
Yeah, I think it's kind of more of a reach from what we've already talked about with all the games. But yeah, Quantrill sucks. I mean, Miami, they're just not very good overall. So, I don't mind like Yastrzemski, Devers. I mean, that lineup did get better, obviously, with Devers in it. It seems like he's at peace, too. He must have been really miserable in Boston. I mean, you could just see it in his face, like at the end of the games. But, yeah, I don't mind him. I just don't like the park. I think there's just better spots here today. I mean, we got a lot of warm weather. I don't want to this time of the year that I like to leave those, that marine layer out there in San Diego, the wind enhanced or the wind, whatever that keeps the wind out over there in San Francisco. So I'm just going to leave these 2 alone. I don't mind it if you maybe want a mini against Quantrill. I'm not going to go after Verlander, even though he has given up some homers. But, yeah, I think there's some better spots to be had here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about bad temperature. 54 degrees out there in San Fran. I mean, you're talking 45 degrees cooler there than it is in the East on the slate. But I will say mini stacks, just because Quantrill has 0 strikeout ability against righties, allows a fuck ton of power, and the Giants do have good power hitters from the right side, right? That can fill teams at a cheap price point. So that's the reason there. Mini stacks only for me. The temperature is just horrible, but Quantrill sucks. So does the bullpen there. Gyiraszin, we made it all 12 games on the slate. It's definitely a doozy. We went a little over an hour here. Let's round it out with your favorite pitching combo. I know you're primarily on FanDuel where you only have to play 1. DraftKings, majority of the viewers and the people in the chat here do primarily probably play on DraftKings where you do have to pick 2. So do that. Your top 2 stacks or your top end, your favorite stack, and then a lower owned or a sneakier value stack, however you want to approach that. And then a home run call for the people.
Well, if I wanted to be safe, I'd play Crochet and Framber, but we obviously are playing tournaments. So I'd go either one of Crochet and Framber, and then I'd go with the rookie. I'd go after Burns. I mean, just knock your balls and go for it. I mean, that's what tournaments are all about. So, I mean, we like to strike out upside there. I mean, damn, you gotta look at that. We can't look at that. So, but as far as some stacks I like, as I mentioned, obviously Dodgers are standing out. I think the Rockies are really interesting here today. I think the D-backs are interesting. I like the Cardinals as like a low, cheap stack that you could look at here tonight. Yeah, it's a very interesting slate for sure. I think that stack, everybody, it's not clear cut. So I don't think you really need to worry too much about getting too chalky really here today. I don't think as much as we need to. I think there's just too many options to spread out too much, but definitely a fun slate for sure. But I saw a question here from Eric here in the chat. Thanks for watching that. We appreciate that. That's just an added bonus here at SHIPIT Nation that you get for joining. But I didn't really see anybody that moved in there that I'd like to say, moved in 2 hole. if our boy there from Boston gets in there, Anthony, I think he could be a guy here tonight that you could look at. But nothing really stands out here tonight. But there are a lot of those occasions where, you know, a manager will bounce a guy back and forth. They know who their hot hitters are, who's working at it, who's behind the scenes, and I generally trust that more so than a lot of the projections. I think that's something to look at. But I mean, interesting slate, Nades. You want a home run call? I'm not going to look at any of the Dodgers. I'm going to go with Matt Olson is going to hit a home run for me tonight. Did I steal your man? Did I steal your man?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I got another one. I had two prepared.
I like me some Matt Olson here tonight. He actually is in the 2-hole. So let's go with some Matt Olson.
All right, Matt Olson. Hey, we're in lockstep, man, because I talked about it. I'm in on Chase Burns. He's one of my favorite pitchers at the ownership, at the upside potential. I get the ballpark. I get all concerns. I think he's an elite play for tournaments. I'm in on Chase Burns. He's one of my favorite pitcher plays on the slate. I'm going Crochet at the top end. He's my favorite overall pitcher on the slate. Stacks-wise, I really like the Braves. Braves are good. I really like the D-backs. I really like the Brewers. And then my value stack, like I talked about, I think the Mariners are interesting. The Twins are interesting. And then the Cardinals are interesting. That's kind of where I'm looking. My home run call, I had Matt Olson circled, but I also had another 2-hole hitter from one of my favorite stacks, the Milwaukee Brewers. Jackson Chourio hitting second, brings stolen base upside as well. Talked about the Brewers stack. I like it a decent amount here against Andrew Heaney and that bullpen there. Overall, fun slate. We got Coors Field. We got heavy totals in that game, and then pretty much every other place on the slate is pretty equivalent, sitting at 8.5, between 7.5 and 9. So, going to be a fun one overall. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. And if you're not a member, like I talked about, MLB75 is the promo code, $24 for your first month with access to our partner SaberSim, which we used off the top of the show to break it all down. Appreciate everyone tuning in. For Gyiraszin, I'm Nades. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see the SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.